The life force is one single entity almost covering the entire universe. And this universal life force becomes subdivided into the continental, national, geographic, regional, racial, familial, professional, lingual, etc. Ultimately comes to individual life force. I don't know how many of you understand, agree when I say that universal, in the whole universe, life force is one single entity. Just like space is one, the life force is also one. It is present everywhere, and when it forms a separate local eddy, the spinning system, local spinning system, with a center as the genetic center of that particular individual, then it becomes an individual life force. Collectively, they are social, regional. You all agree that the people who live in India have a separate identity. Their stature, their facial features, all an expression of the life force is unique. It is specific. It has its seal in them. The people who come from India, especially from South India, they have the common features shared. Though it differs into the subsects like Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, like that. So this division goes further to the southern districts of Tamil Nadu as a different feature. The northern, eastern, western Tamil Nadu as different. So we have to understand how this single life force becomes fragmented to many and ultimately to individual. Is this individual life force and the one single total life force, is both are same or different? It is the same. It becomes different when it starts dividing into subunits. The earth has one common presentation. The aliens, if we come across and able to study, they will have a different one. We have to wait and see. The way the astrological, astronomical explorations go on, we have landed in Moon, we have landed in Mars, we are nearing sun to explore the solar system. And if we acquire more stronger, powerful tools, we may go to other stars also. So that is for the future. For the present now, we have the same features, the physiology of the life force, whether it is one single universal life force or individual life force, the working system pattern is the same. And when it becomes individual, Tarun's life force, it becomes more specific to him and it has special features which makes it different from others. What is it that differentiates the individual life force from the universal? The universal life force has one universal genetic center which covers all the galaxies and the stars put together. And the individual life force is governed by the specific genetic center of the individual. And when it has its own genetic center, it has its own imprints, it has its own body, and the body contributes to it. The Panchabhutas, the Sabdatadus, they all contribute to the genetic center. And the imprints makes it more specific. It is the imprints that differentiate one individual's life force from another individual's life force. And this karma imprints is not for a short period. It is from the time immemorial, right from the day of the beginning of the movement of the energy particles combining to form the life force particles and the life force. From that day onwards to the present day, the imprints are there and they give all special features to the life force. And all these features are reflected in the life force of the individual. And this genetic center, we will see, is subjected to alterations. It depends on various factors. We will see it later. And if we remove these differentiating features, broadly, they all fall into the same structure and function. Now we will see that we have experienced in ourselves the life force is the stronger sometime or other, weaker at other times. This change, how does it get the strength or when it becomes weak, you will see the spinning system of the genetic center, which has the astral body, causal body, and the physical body, contributes to the strength of the individual life force. The sexual vital fluid is the heaviest of the contents of the spinning system of genetic center, and it contributes mainly to the nature and force of the genetic center. And the SPF is in the whole physical body. It is produced in the bone marrow, and the biggest marrow is of course the brain, and in the brain it is produced, and as it is produced, it circulates in the spinning system. In the spinning system of the Panchabhutas and Sabdatadis, SVF is the heaviest, so it gravitates to the genetic center. The SVF is utilized as and when it is produced. First, it attends to the physical body needs. A single egg is, by the union of sperm, becomes fertilized and zygote. And this single cell starts dividing. To divide what it requires the SVF. The SVF is utilized for the individual cell growth, build-up, maturity, and division. And so, right from birth, the single fertilized zygote divides into 2, 4, 8, like that, and grows in size and weight, and that is shown in the embryology. And this amount of growth, the embryo's weight is nanograms, but when it is born, it is on an average 3 kilos. And when it grows up to adolescence and adulthood, it is few tens of kilos. Usually in adolescence it is around 30 to 40, and further it is proportional to the physical body. And you see, this requires enormous amount of vital fluid. And this vital fluid is utilized by the body as and when it is produced from the marrow. And proportional to the size of the body, the life force is also increasing. We have seen earlier the relationship, the impact of the sexual vital fluid on the genetic center and the life force. The attractive force of the spinning system of genetic center depends on the SVF, and that is the major heavyweight player in the setup, and it decides. It is contributing to the attractive power of the genetic center. Greater is the content of the presence of the SVF. Higher is the strength of this life force. When the body grows from birth to adolescence, as we reach the adolescence, the production of SVF in the bone marrow, in the cranium, and rest of the body is proportional to the size of the physical body. And whenever there is an excess, unutilized SVF is present in the spinning system, it naturally, obeying the physical laws, gravitates to the center of the genetic center. And when the excess or the stock force of the SVF accumulates in the genetic center, it develops an attractive force which attracts more and more life force particles and the energy particles or divine dust particles into the spinning system of the life force. And so more and more life force particles, aqueous particles, they take part in the life force system, and that presents a stronger and proportionately able to contribute to the maintenance of the body and the build-up of the body.